All right, so if you thought chatbots were the peak of AI, you're going to want to stick around for this. We're talking about the next massive leap. I'm talking about AI agents. These are systems that don't just chat with you, they actually do stuff. It's like AI finally got a to-do list, and, more importantly, the ability to actually check things off of it.
And look, it's not just me hyping this up. This idea is buzzing all over the AI community right now. Why? Because agents are this fundamental shift, right? We're moving from an AI that's just a passive little librarian, fetching information for you, to an AI that's an active, autonomous partner that actually helps you get things done.
So here's what we've got on tap. First, we'll break down what an AI agent actually is. Then we'll pop the hood and see how it thinks. We'll check out the different types of agents out there. And then, the fun part, we're going to get our hands dirty and actually build one and connect it to the real world to automate stuff. And of course, we'll wrap up by looking at what all this means for the future.
Okay, so what is the big deal here? What actually separates an AI agent from the AI we're already used to? Well, it really all boils down to one thing: moving away from a fixed, rigid script to making dynamic decisions on the fly.
This really gets to the heart of it. An AI chain is kind of like a train on a railroad track. It follows a fixed, preset path. It's super reliable, super fast for that one specific route, right? But an AI agent, an agent is totally different. It's like taking that train, giving it a high-tech GPS, and the keys to an entire garage full of different vehicles. A car, a bike, a plane. It's autonomous. It can look at a final destination, reason about the best way to get there, and then pick the right tool for the job to complete the journey all by itself. So how in the world does an agent actually make these decisions? It's not magic, even though it can feel like it. It's all thanks to this really clever framework that lets it, for lack of a better word, think its way through a problem. And that framework is called React. It's a great name because it's exactly what it does: reason and act. It's a two-step dance. First, the agent reasons about the problem you've given it. It breaks it down, figures out what's really being asked. And then it acts on that reasoning by picking out the perfect tool to get it done. This whole process works in a really simple, elegant loop. It goes like this. You give it a query, a goal, whatever. Then comes the thought phase. This is the agent's inner monologue, where it's like, okay, to solve this, I'm going to need that tool right there. Next up is the action. It actually uses the tool it just picked. And finally, it makes an observation. It looks at the result it got and asks itself, all right, is the job done? If yes, great. If not, it just loops right back to the thought step and tries again. Okay, so that basic React loop we just talked about, that's the foundation, that's the engine. But what's cool is that developers have taken that core idea and built all sorts of specialized agents on top of it, each one with its own unique superpowers. This table breaks it down nicely. You've got your basic React agent. It's a real workhorse for simple one-off tasks, but it's got zero memory of what just happened. Then you level up to a conversational agent. This one adds short-term memory, which is crucial for having a real back-and-forth conversation. And then you get to the heavy hitters, AutoGPT and BabyAGI. These guys use long-term memory. Think of it like a digital notebook, so they can tackle really complex long-term goals. And BabyAGI, it takes things to a whole other level. It actually creates and prioritizes its own to-do list to achieve whatever big objective you give it. Pretty wild. All right, that's enough theory for now. Let's actually see this stuff in action. We're going to jump in and build a really simple agent using a cool low-code platform called Flowise. And you'll see the setup is actually surprisingly simple. At the core, you have a large language model. That's the brain of the operation. But the most important part is that we give that brain a toolbox. For this example, we're going to give our agent just two simple tools, a calculator and a web browser. So let's test it out. What happens when we actually give this brand new agent a task? Let's start with something easy, a basic math question. And notice, we're not telling it how to solve the problem. We're just telling it what the problem is. And here, this is where the magic happens. This is that thought step we talked about. This is its internal monologue. The agent looks at our question, scans its toolbox, and thinks, okay, this is a math problem. Hey, I have a calculator. I should probably use that. And boom, it picks the right tool for the job, completely on its own. And just like that, it does it. It executes the action, uses the calculator tool, and spits out the correct answer. See? It didn't just guess or pull a number out of thin air. It reasoned, it acted, and it solved the problem. It seems simple, but that little loop is incredibly powerful.
But hang on, what if the tools in that toolbox weren't just a simple calculator? What if we could give our agent tools that connect to the real-world apps we use every single day? Now that is where things get really, really interesting.
See, by hooking our agent up to a service like Zapier, we're not just giving it 1 or 2 tools anymore. We're handing it a master key that can unlock thousands of different applications. I'm talking Gmail, Google Sheets, Slack, basically anything you can think of. The possibilities for automation just explode. So let's watch this play out with a real-world example. Our prompt is just simple, plain English. The agent reads it and thinks, okay, I see 2 steps here. First, it grabs its web browser tool to go find the top topics on Hacker News. Then, once it has that info, it pulls out its second tool, the Zapier one, to fire up Gmail, write an email, and send it. And just like that, one simple sentence turned into a completed multi-step task, all done automatically.
And get this, what's really mind-blowing is the little details. The agent didn't just dump a wall of text into an empty email. No, it reasoned that emails need a subject line, so it just created a perfect, relevant one all on its own. This isn't just plain old automation, folks. This is intelligent automation. So where are we headed with all this? I mean, this technology is moving at a breakneck pace. And understanding these core ideas is absolutely the key to actually being able to use it.
Really, the main takeaway here is understanding the trade-off. If you've got a simple, repetitive task that's always the same, a faster, simpler AI chain is probably still your best bet. But for anything complex, anything that needs flexibility, reasoning, and on-the-fly decisions, the agent, even if it's a little slower, is the hands-down winner. It's really just about knowing when to use which tool.
And that kind of brings us to the final, most important question. This isn't some science fiction concept anymore. These tools are here right now. You can use them for summarizing articles and emailing them to your team, for watching websites for updates, for helping manage your calendar. The list goes on. So the question really isn't if this is going to be useful. The question is, what are you going to do with it? What's that one tedious, manual part of your job that you're just ready to hand over to your own personal AI agent?